multiple things here, as you can see now. Yeah. Um, Sue painted a picture about this, the agents becoming more and more intelligent and then all that stuff. How many of you have taken a dip in the Kumbh Mela? Can I see some more hands? No? Yeah, good, nice. So the race between the human intelligence versus the machine intelligence, those who have taken the dip in Kumbh Mela, you are a little bit better, right? A little bit more ahead of the time. I'll start with the other perspective as well, which is, and I want the camera to zoom in into this picture that I have on my hand. Yeah, can you please zoom in? And is there a way we can show it here? I'll tell you what, Okay, if it is not showing up here, look. At one end, we are progressing, right, from the machine learning age, which is not far behind, to today, where we are saying agents and agentic and then all that stuff. There will be a time, in the very near future, it's not going to be year, 2 year, 3 year, but every month or every day, there is a new surprise. Cursor.ai, I think some of the guys at the back, the students who were in a competition, do you guys understand Cursor.ai? Do you use Cursor.ai for coding? Yeah? So this is true, I didn't cook it up, okay? And this was yesterday. So this picture, what it says is Cursor.ai, which is an intelligent coding agent, following the thinking and acting and reflecting, this paradigm, actually refused to assist a developer. I'm taking a pause. Do you guys realize, right? This intelligent machine refused to assist a developer, saying, if you keep on asking me to support and help on every single thing, you are not doing your job. Yeah, so you better go back, learn the basics and come back, ask me something that is worthy of me responding to you and assisting and supporting you. Yeah? So with that, and that is real, that is true, and it means a lot for us, right? So how are we preparing, right? Yeah. Now, all said and done, right? Sub talked about before even the ChatGPT came out, the LLMs and all that, our AI COE team in the lab was actually using the NLP processing and delivering solutions to clients, real solutions to the clients, right? While we can take a lot of credit on that, but the world today is very different. The machine learning aspects of it is backward looking, meaning you have to have a lot of data, you have to have a lot of context behind the data, a lot of process-oriented knowledge, and then problem solving fed into it. And then it starts predicting what is next, and then all that. The human learning, which is all of us, is actually theorized, right? It is actually intuition, it is imagination, creativity, and trying to be a problem solver, right? And when we take these two, and Tredence in that context is actually at the sweet spot. We understand process, we understand domain, we understand context, we understand what the real problem is, as opposed to, right, having some powerful algorithms to torture the data so it will confess to something, right? It's bound to. Rather than doing that, how do we solve the problems, yeah? And that's what behind me is the Milky Way, right? Is Praveen here anywhere? I don't see him, but and Kumbh Mela, in relation, there is this constellation of things in a Saptarshi type of a picture over there, and that's what is the information. And this is what we are going after. As a company, it is not just about building large models, And large models, people have put in a lot of money over the last 2 years. And while it was good, it was not precision oriented. It was not specific. It was not into problem solving at the way we do and look at the real world problems, right? That has to be narrow, that has to be contained, and it has to do what it's supposed to do. There is no hallucination, there is no spinning around thing. This is where we came out with Milky Way, and Milky Way consists of is this working? Yeah. Milky Way consists of a series and a constellation of agents. Agents which are very specific to solve a procurement problem, to solve a financial analyst problem, to solve a data analyst problem, and it can go and make many other type of agents, but they need to come together. Then there has to be some order, there has to be some management of all of that. Then we're looking into Milky Way purely from a context of, how do you network with each other? Because in the real world, the problem solving happens, and we as work in teams together now. There is an expert on something, there is another expert on something else, and then we keep on handing over, right? That is how the teams form, and they become together as a force to solve problem, right? End to end. So this is where the networking effect of it happens, yeah? So specialized agents coming together for different purpose and specifics, but working in the context of solving that particular problem. And finally, looking into the access and the scale and the volume and all those aspects coming together, because some point in time, there is a human loop in the play, right? And we all know reinforcement learning, human loop, how do we keep tweaking it around? How do we define guardrails? How do we make sure that they are actually doing what they're supposed to do? But imagine when they keep learning on it, they will become much better at it. They will probably not need the human in the loop going forward. And the human has to now figure out, how do I manage these guys? Right? There will be lot of agents all around. And that is when it becomes human on the loop. Meaning you are doing observations, you are figuring out who is slacking a little bit, which is what we do to, when we do the performance appraisals. Not a good topic to bring up now, but that is what we do, right? Yeah. And then that will also become, more mainstream as we progress in that journey. Then what should the humans do? Right? That's another question. Then the human will graduate a little bit up and become human above the loop. This is where policies, this is where rules, the rule books, and all of that we will have to start thinking, right? And all of this needs to come together to solve these kind of problems. The question is why, right? Now, it is inevitable that the workforce of tomorrow, right, and we are already starting to develop these kind of solutions, deploying in client environments, is not just going to be humans only. Right? There will be multiple agents. Our CFO is pushing us, right? Pratap, who is sitting here, that hey, I need a better financial management agent for me, right? All the data that you guys are cooking up is not looking good, yeah? And he was chatting with me yesterday. Now, when you see these kind of specialized agents partnering with you, imagine there is experts and there is a whole bunch of these agents coming together. So the tomorrow's workforce and managing that workforce will become a very interesting challenge, very interesting way of doing it. And I gave you that example when the intelligent agent is actually refusing to assist you, right? HR, Madam HR, I always call her, Rekha is here, and I was asking her the question, how do you do the performance appraisal of the agent and the human, right? It's a collaborative workforce going forward, yeah? So, let me introduce you. This is what I was talking about. This is where Tredence is focused on. With many of the clients, we have already started validating this idea. Of course, right? It can't be with our own cooked up data. right? Although we have got a technology which is going to give us synthetic data, but that is not the true data. So it has to be real. It has to be on a client's supported data, and process knowledge, reimagining how workflows of tomorrow is going to look like. What should be the UX and UI of it? How do you interact with these kind of things, right? It is not going to clicking buttons, yeah? There has to be something else. How do you put all of that together with these specializations? And that is how Tredence is approaching this problem solving of the future, yeah? So, anything else you want me to add?
I think let's go to the next slide with the clients that we are working with. Yeah.
Does that work? Yep. Now, our push for Milky Way and all of that is not in vacuum, right? Over the last 18 months, close to 2 years now, we have been using this agentic AI, the frameworks, and solving very specific narrow problem statements across this life cycle, right at the top, as you see, sprinkled across all these clients, right? We have been solving about these kind of problem statements, and that gives us the confidence as well as the capability to package it all together as an offering and go to market, right? These are real clients, real problems that we have been solving around for some time now. Yeah? So thank you, and I'll hand it back to Shub.
Thank you, Shum. Thank you so much.